Max. Um, Hi, ladies. How long y'all been there? How long y'all been there? Because my brother's been working my nerves, and I'm just like, ooh. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Like, can I get some peace and quiet around here? Like, seriously. How are you ladies this evening? Welcome back to Tuesday Talks. Let me see who's on so I make sure I say hello to everybody. Let's see. Sherry, Planner Grandma. Hi, Planner Grandma. Kate, Iridescent. Hey, Cassandra. Kim, hello. So, how are y'all doing today? I hope you all are doing well. Um, Today I wanted to talk about personalities. So, there is there is a personality test called the Myers-Briggs personality test, and I have linked that in the description box below. And so it's been some years now since I took the test. I don't remember how long it's been. How did I even come across this thing? I think through my younger brother. And so, yeah, I think through my younger brother. Can y'all hear me and see me and everything? Wave if you can see me and hear me. Yes. Okay, cool. Um, it's doing the focusing thing. All right. So I think I came across the Myers-Briggs test through my younger brother, and it's been some years now. And I was a little reluctant to take the test. I really didn't want to take the test at first, but I did. It's not one of those quick little tests you can take. And you need, in order to really find out what your personality type is, you have to really be honest with yourself when you take the test. Because if you're not honest with yourself, you may not get the correct result. Um, hey, Christy. So I took the test, and my personality type ended up being an ENTJ. I laugh because the ENTJ personality type, it gets a pretty bad rep. I don't know why they do that to us. When you search Pinterest for information about the ENTJ personality type, there's usually nothing positive that really comes up, and there's a lot of memes that kind of just try to throw shade at the ENTJs. Um, but we're not bad. Like, we're really not. Like, we're misunderstood, should I say. Okay, so when you go to this site, and like I said, I've linked it below, it's going to give you some options at the top. The first option that you're going to have is to actually take the test. So that's the first option that's on there. So once you've taken the test, it will tell you what your personality type is. And then from there you can go. And then the next option is giving you information about the different personality types. And I have done, since I learned what my personality type is, I have done extensive research on it, like a lot of research on it. I have looked at how my personality type affects relationships, work, family, health, all of that. And I must say that everything that I have found has been fairly accurate. I mean, almost scary accurate when you start to realize, oh my God, that's me. And then what I found too by determining what my personality type is, it actually helps you understand yourself a whole lot better. So now you understand, okay, why do I do things that I do? Why do I do them the way that I do them? Why do I say the things that I say? And things like that. It has helped me a whole lot. um, and then finding out, like, my younger brother took the test to find out what his personality type was, and so knowing each other's personality types have kind of helped us with our interaction with each other. um our personalities kind of clash quite a bit, to tell you the truth, because I'm a fast processor and I'm quick to thinking and I'm quick to get things done, and he likes to take a little bit more time and be more methodical about things. And so I come off as sometimes very brash and impatient to him, but I have a very strong down to business kind of thing about me. So let me just give you a little insight. So the ENTJ is the commander. We get these crazy titles. We get commander. I think somewhere else I saw, what was the other title I saw? It was something similar to commander, but I forget what it was. So it says bold, imaginative, and strong-willed, and that is definitely me. I think if I were to give all of this information to my parents who raised me, they would definitely agree with me. I'm not sure. It's called the Myers-Briggs. So I'm assuming someone with that last name, that combination of names. I don't really know for certain. But it was very eye-opening for me, let me tell you. So let me pull this laptop over here. So once again, I am an ENTJ, and there are 4 aspects of the personality, and that's how they determine what your personality type is. The E is for extroverted. The N is for intuitive, I believe. The T is for thinking, and the J is for judgmental. So you can either be an E or an I, an N or an S, an F or T, a J or a P. So it's intro or extroverted, intuitive, and I can't think of what the S is. But yeah, so for commander, which is the ENTJ, it says they are bold, imaginative, and strong-willed leaders, always finding a way or making one. And I have always said that about myself. I'll make a way. I'll make a way to get it done. If I'm supposed to have a bunch of people helping me do something as a group and I don't get that assistance, guess what? I'm going to make it happen, because that's what I do. I'm all about making it happen and getting it done. And one thing that they talked about when I started studying about my personality type was how efficient we are and how we like doing things an efficient way. And so it comes off as sometimes it's my way or no way. That's not what it is. If I can do this more efficiently and quicker and get it done faster, that's the way that I'm trying to do it. And so I try to hold back, because I know that, like, especially if it's something with a group and everybody's trying to put in their ideas or whatever, I will try my best to sit back and say nothing unless it's getting to the point where we're not going to get this done. And that's when I have to step in and I'm like, okay, I think if we do it this way, blah, 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 and then we'll get it done quicker. I have to do it, because if I'm sitting back and we're spending too much time to get something done, or we're doing it a whole kind of roundabout way, or taking the long way, or it's a crazy way, I will lose my mind. So learning that about my personality type made me think about a lot of different things from my childhood too. Like, as far as my learning style, the way I learn things. When I was in school, if there were, and I know this is kind of like a math lesson, but I can definitely relate it back to math. When it came to learning how to deal with positive and negative numbers, I realized that there was a pattern to that whole madness. I realized that I mainly need to be concerned when I have a positive and a negative. So instead of me learning all the rules for how to do it for all addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, I realized that if I learn this one rule for addition and subtraction and this one rule for multiplication and division, I will save myself a lot of time. I will save myself a lot of heartache, and then I don't have to remember so much. So that's kind of how my brain works and how I process things. I like to do things the most efficient way possible. And being a math teacher, that is why sometimes I have an issue with some of the ways they teach things now, because I feel like it's like, is that the most efficient way to teach that? Yes, kids have different learning styles and you kind of got to adapt to that, but is that the most efficient way to teach that? Because you just went downtown, uptown, around town to teach something that you could have taught like that. So those are the type of things that just kind of drive me batty. So, like I said, my personality type gets a lot of get a lot of slack. So I'm just going to read you a little bit about what it says about ENTJs. And what I like about the site is once you realize what your personality type is, and you go and you click on that type for more information, it's going to give you a little introduction. It's going to tell you about your strengths and weaknesses. And oh my God, that is a blessing, because some of us refuse to admit to ourselves sometimes what our weaknesses are. With ENTJs, a lot of our strengths are also our weaknesses. It just kind of works out that way. Then it goes on to tell you about your type when it comes to romantic relationships, friendships, parenthood, even career paths, and your workplace habits. So I'll just give you guys a little bit of the introduction that it has about my personality type. It says ENTJs are natural born leaders. People with this personality type embody the gifts of charisma and confidence and project authority in a way that draws crowds together behind a common goal. Yes, it is a free test. It is a free test. It says, but unlike their feeling counterpart, ENTJs are characterized by an often ruthless level of rationality. So right there, did you have to use the word ruthless? I am a very rational thinker. Yes. It says they use their drive, determination, and sharp minds to achieve whatever end they've set for themselves. I think I've taken this test, but I can't remember what I am. Planner Grandma, you should try and take it again. Believe me, it really helped me understand myself a whole lot better. It also says perhaps it is best that they make up only 3% of the population, lest they overwhelm the more timid and sensitive personality types that make up most of the rest of the world. But we have ENTJs to thank for many of the businesses and institutions we take for granted every day. So one thing that when I did my study, it tends to say that ENTJs sometimes come off as being insensitive. And it's not that we're insensitive. We're just so much about getting down to business that we don't have time to think about, oh, woe is me and boo-hoo and, oh, you hurt my feelings. Like when it comes to business, we don't have time for all that. That is not going to fit into the end goal that we're trying to achieve. So when people are very emotional, sensitive people, ENTJs are probably not the best ones for them to be working with all of the time. And I remember I had to, when I was over singles ministry, and I talked about this a little bit last week, when I was over singles ministry at church, I had planned this whole singles weekend. So it was a 3-day event. I am very, very, like I said, about business, and I'm very detailed, and I like things to be organized and in order. So what I did was, from the start, I formed committees. I had different committees. I had a decorating committee and other ones. So I told everybody, these are the committees, sign up for whatever, these are the duties of these committees, and sign up for whatever committee or committees you think you would work best with. Now, it was all volunteer, right? I wasn't forcing anybody to do anything. Long story short, people signed up for committees, but people did not do the work that they signed up to do. So when it all came down to it, I had myself, my two brothers, and two other singles from church that mainly helped me put together an entire weekend event. After the fact, we have a meeting to recap everything that went on, and people are like, well, you didn't even let anybody do anything and you just did everything yourself. I said, if I hadn't done everything myself, you wouldn't have had an event to go to. Like, I just had to get that blunt with them. Okay. If I hadn't done everything, you wouldn't have had an event to go to. I said, it's not my problem that you signed up and volunteered to do something and then you didn't do it. I was going to get it done with or without you. And that's pretty much what happened. Although we only really had about 6 people helping, and we had several people that had signed up to help, I still got it done. And when I tell you, I hadn't slept really, I was tired. I didn't even enjoy the singles weekend because I was so busy getting everything together. So that's just kind of how my personality works, and I don't mean to come off as being insensitive. They say ENTJs are like kind of cold-hearted. I don't think I'm a cold-hearted person. I think I care a whole lot, and that's where a lot of my frustrations and stuff come in sometimes, because I'm really passionate about a lot of things and I care about a lot of things. But if I come off as insensitive, it's probably because I'm trying to get something done, and at this moment, I can't really worry about your feelings if this needs to get done. So I don't know if any of you guys, like I said, I don't know if any of you guys have ever taken this test, or if you haven't, I highly suggest that you do. Like I said, I have linked it in the description box. And what I would like to know, like if you decide to take it, I would love for you to come back and let me know, like what you found your personality type to be and what you've discovered about yourself from learning your personality type. So I think that would be cool. I think I've taken, okay, yes. I may have taken it in college. Yeah. I have never heard of it before until my brother introduced it. Hey, Indy. The only test I've taken even close to that was the test to see what my love languages are. And this is what's so crazy about this personality test. It tells you, I found more research, and it really tells you what your love languages are. Now, mind you, I took the love language test many, many years ago. So to go back, do the research, and to find out, oh my God, based on my personality, is telling me that these are my love languages, and it was on point, like scary on point, y'all. So I'm just like, oh my Lord, it's so right. Like I found, and there's been some things I've had to admit to myself, like, you know what, you need to try and step back some when you're dealing with people of certain personality types. You need to watch your approach. You need to have a little bit more patience, and you need to not be so blunt all the time. I even noticed too that I'm so direct and to the point sometimes that there's been times where I've like texted people and I have to go back and correct my text before I send it out, because it'll just be like, I just immediately get down to business. I don't say hello, how you doing? I don't greet nothing, and I've had to try and get out of that habit. Yeah, I like chakras, so mine will be. I've never looked into chakra. Let me see. What are y'all saying? Because let me see. Yeah, I've never looked into chakra. Are you talking about ESP? Because my gut tells me who is and who not. No, I'm just talking about the different personality types. I am INFJ, the advocate. Oh, Kate, cool. I know some INFJs. I think that's one of the rare personality types like mine, because the ENTJ only, like I said, only makes about 3% of the population, and I think the INFJ is another one that's rare. But when you take the test, like I said, you have to be very honest with yourself, or you might end up getting something that's not really you. I'm INTJ. Have you taken the test before, Indy? Yeah, ENTJs are only 3% of the population. And they say that's a good thing because of how direct we are and how we come off to people. But yeah. I think the world benefits from ENTJs, because otherwise, who is going to help get things done decently and in order without us? All right, Nadiv, I'll do that. So who's going to help do that? So it's just been eye-opening for me. I want my older brother to take the test. I've tried to figure out what he is based on what I know about him and the research. He ain't into all of that. He don't want to know. He don't really want to take the test. He don't like nobody telling him who he is or what he is or anything like that. But as far as me and my younger brother, it has really helped us with our interactions with each other, even though we're like on two different spectrums sometimes as to how we approach things. We frustrate each other a lot because our personalities are so different. But now we know why we are so frustrated with each other at times, because we've studied this quite a bit. Once my godson gets a little older and old enough to really truly understand the questions and answer them, I would love for him to take it too. So then that could help me with my interactions with him as well. I've always been an extroverted person, so I wasn't shocked to get an E. Wasn't shocked about that at all. Because that's what I do. So yeah, it's E for extroverted or I for introverted. Then it's the N for intuitive or S for sensory. And then the F is feeling, and the T is thinking. The J is judging, and this P is, I want to say it's perception or something like that. I could be wrong. But yeah, so I'm definitely not the sensory or feeling person. I do have feelings. ENTJs, perception. Yes, that's what I thought. So ENTJs really do have feelings. Don't listen to the memes that they have out there about us on Pinterest. We really do have feelings. One of the funniest memes that I saw about ENTJs, it says, feed me to the wolves and I'll come back the leader of the pack. That is my favorite. That is my absolute favorite. I can categorize people just on that info. Seriously. So yeah, and then there was one other one. It said, if I start a conversation with, first of all, just know that I have charts and data and all kinds of files to back up what I say. Because that's me, like, I call it my arsenal. I call it my arsenal. This describes your husband. You think your husband's an ENTJ? It would be interesting, Christy, for the two of you to do the test and see what your personalities are. And It gives a better insight on how you guys interact with each other, and how it affects your marriage and y'all raising the children and things like that. So if anybody wants to take the test and come back and be my guest with me next week and discuss what you've discovered, I'm all for that. And we could just make the month of March just kind of dedicated to that, if that's something that you guys are interested to. And then we could just, those who want to volunteer, what they found out and how it's helping them deal with things. I mean, I'm all for that. But it has really been eye-opening. He does some similar ones. So does the testing give info on, well, you can do well with an INX? You know what? I think it does do that. If it's not on this particular site, like I said, I've researched this so much. I have seen information where it kind of compares how you are with another type. So I have seen that. And like I said, I've gone in depth on how you are with relationships, work, family, and all of that kind of stuff. But although we ENTJs come off as heartless, we are very loving and caring people as well. And so it's kind of funny that my love languages are quality time and physical touch, considered, since they think ENTJs are so feelingless, so without feelings. But no, I do have feelings. I just know that I can't always let my feelings get in the way of what has to be done. That's just what it is. There's things that need to be done, and I need to deal with them, and then I could put the feelings on the back burner and deal with that later. We are called snobs, but we're not. So you're in what were you again, Andy? The ISNJ? But the good thing about it too, it lets you see how other people see you. And that's eye-opening as well, to get an insight of how other people see you based on your personality type. So like I said, the only other test I've really taken was the one on love languages. And then I did like a little quick quiz to determine, there was this other test that one of a pastor did with us at one of our singles events, whether or not you're sanguine, or I don't even remember the other ones. But yeah. You don't care what people think. Iridescent, I really don't either. I really don't either. I really don't let what other people think really get to me. I think I may have when I was younger sometimes, but the only thing I don't like, because I really don't, like I said, I don't really care what people think. I don't like my character being defamed. Now that's when I'm going to have a problem. Because my thing is, say what you want to say. People can believe what they want to believe. But when my character is defamed, that's kind of where I kind of draw the line. Yeah, that's kind of where the line has to be drawn. So prior to taking this test, of course, I would always kind of sit and wonder, like, why are they like that? Why do they do those things that they do? I would like to learn a lot of different people's personality types. Like my best friend, I haven't had him take this test yet. I would like for him to take it too. See exactly what his personality type is. I think we're going to be similar on some things, but differ on some others. I would love for certain family members of mine to take it. I'm dying to know if looking at their personality type is going to help me understand why they have done some of the things that they have done and if it's going to help it all just kind of make a little bit more sense, you know. Um, so do you guys think this is something that you would be interested in revisiting during the month of March? Anybody that think they would want to volunteer to tell us their type and what they've learned from it? I used to be touchy about that, but I had a series of attempted character assassination from my ex. I had to work through it. Yeah. It's hard when people attack your character. That's when it's just kind of like, no. Because especially when it's things that are going to affect how people want to work with you, or how people want to interact with you. Like on a job, do not assassinate my character on a job. We're going to have problems. You want to do it, Tamara? Yes. So I'm going to be looking for some volunteers to talk about their personality types in the next coming weeks. Me, I will contribute to the tribute. Yeah, all right. India, I haven't had the last. What was that? I missed that one. I haven't had the test. Yeah. But I think like people that have teenagers, oh my goodness, I think it would be a great thing to do with a teenager, and really, because you know teenagers today are a lot different than, well, not a lot different. They still do some of the same things we did, but as far as I would say emotionally, they are a lot different than what we were. You know, the kids today seem to be a lot more sensitive. I also hate when folks talk over me. It makes me shut down. Yeah, I know a couple of people like that, and they will keep going, and they're not listening to anything anybody else says, but you better be listening to whatever they're saying, you know. So I feel you on that one. And I try to watch myself with that too, to make sure that I'm not doing that same thing that is a pet peeve to me. So definitely. And I don't know if the personality type has something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe. That's me. What do you mean, Naive? Are you the over talker, or are you the one that doesn't like people talking over you? Yeah, I know a couple of people that have that problem really bad. It's like pointless to try and have a conversation with them, actually. I'm both in a way, depends on who is around me. Now, I feel like sometimes I might get like that because I want to be heard. And I feel like I've always had this problem with being heard, because I just really, my family will deny it, but I don't think they really listen to me. So I want to be heard, and probably part of my personality type is getting my point across. And sometimes ENTJs come off as thinking we are the only ones that are right. But I have this running joke with my brothers and my gossip. I'm like, I'm an ENTJ. I'm right. Just listen to me. Believe me. I'm right. I'm always right. You know. But seriously, y'all, almost always I'm right. Like, no joke. They should know this by now. So you would think they would listen to me more than they do, because I'm almost always right. If I like you, I'll let you talk. But if I don't like you, it will go in one ear, not the other. Naive. You know, I'm a good listener, even though sometimes people just be like ugh. But I will still try and always give my undivided attention to people, because if for no other reason, I would like the same in return. I'm very attentive. But I feel where you're coming from, Naive. I think with me, I might start to tune out when I'm getting the woe is me speech from somebody. I've really tried to just remove those kind of people from my everyday life. Those will, I don't have patience for the woe is me person. because we all go through drama, and I know we all have our times where we kind of have a woe is me moment. But when you're having them all the time, I can't deal with that. And what really bothers me is when you're woe is me, but you have the opportunity and the means to change the situation, but you don't. You know, I used to work with somebody that was like that. And it was always, oh, I'm having this financial trouble, or oh, I'm having this situation, or oh, my kids got into this, or oh, my kids got into that. And it got to the point where I'm like, you're telling me you're broke, but you're at the club all the time. It takes money to go to the club and sit there, and you got to pay your price to get in, and then you're buying drinks and all. So I can't sit here and hear you holler and about woe is me and your finances when you're spending money at the club all the time. Like, I just can't do it. I'll pay attention, but I won't engage if you get. I gotcha. Yes, my circle. I always say my circle is so small, it's microscopic. I feel like that's me with my hand, but I'm going to fix it and get it better. I have a younger relative like that, and I think I want to help her. I'm sorry, help her so bad because she's like a little sister. I feel bad cutting her off. Yeah. So like I think that's when I can't. That's when I lose my focus and I lose my attention, is when it's woe is me. There was someone I used to know. Well, I don't used to know. I know them. Somebody that I know that we just don't click. Okay, we don't click. Sister got a nasty tude for no reason whatsoever. I don't have time for that. And sister is woe is me. I don't have time for that. Don't be woe is me. And a lot of people I've met, I'm going to say about 3 to 4 single parents that pour on the woe is me very thickly. So this one in particular was always, oh, woe is me, I'm a single parent, blah, 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 blah. But you could work. There's nothing stopping you from working, though. So what are you whining and complaining? You can go to work. And at the time when I was experiencing this from this person, their children were the children were in elementary, and you're whining about woe is me, but you could be working while your kids are at school and be home for them when they get out of school. So what's the problem? Don't that, and I think that's why sometimes ENTJs probably come off as insensitive, because we don't have time for that. Like, when it's about business, this is about business. You need to take care of your kids. You can work and you're physically capable. Get up and go work. Unless you survive a brain tumor while being a single mother and working. That is a whole nother story, Naliv. This woman was in perfect health. There was nothing stopping her from working. You know what I mean? Like, nothing. And then I had come across another one that would throw the woe is me single mother card. But the same thing, choosing not to do better. Yeah, you guys will spit it out. We keep quiet too now. Yeah, it's hard for me to just, I'm telling y'all, my mama said I've been talking trash from the time I started talking. It's always been an issue for me. And the good thing is I do recognize that is an issue for me, because I'm all about things being done right, being done orderly and efficiently. I am quick to speak up and say something. I'm learning now to just sit back. And sometimes if I have given you a more efficient way to do something and you don't listen to me, guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to watch, sit back and watch. And I won't even tell you I told you so, because guess what? You're going to remember Tamika said we should have did this, and this. one of the elementary schools that I worked at part-time. I worked there part-time because my godson was attending, and I wanted to just, it was a new school, and I wanted to get a little bit of insight on what was going on. So I was working in the cafeteria that day, helping out in there. I'm giving you and telling you this is the easiest way for us to hurry up and set up everything for lunch. But you want to go this whole roundabout way. And then you finally see that the way I told you, boom, 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 we're done. We're done. We did it that quickly. Sometimes I could finish my whole section before this person even did a little bit. But what I came to realize too was that the person was trying to prolong things a little bit just to get assistance. You know, I mean, just people just trying to get by sometimes, and that's what that is. It makes it harder to keep quiet when you have to keep telling people this. Yes, yes, that's how I feel sometimes when it comes to teaching. Because I tell my students from the get, I'm going to show you the easiest possible way to learn this and to understand this. All you need to do is what I say. But it doesn't always happen that way. All right? So I always try to tell people the easiest way to go about something because that's part of the personality. It's all about efficiency. When you don't follow what I say, then you get it wrong. And that happens so much in the classroom for me. And it's like, did I not tell y'all to do this like this? Because that was going to be the easiest way. And then you come, or did I not tell you to follow the notes? Did I not tell you to refer back to the chart and the table? Because everything you're going to need is going to be there. And then you get frustrated. So I definitely understand what you're saying, Iridescent. Remember that friend? Yeah, she can't rent anywhere in the Twin Cities. In Minnesota, she had to move north. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. But same thing with my godson's dad. I'm always trying to tell him, but he don't listen. Here I am trying to tell you the best thing for your kid, because even though he's not my kid and I've been helping take care of him, you would think you would want to listen to me. Because when you need something, you always come to who? To the godmom. Right? And I tell my godson the same thing. He has this bad issue at school where he goes to school, he lets kids get in his head, he lets kids will say something about him, so he says they're saying stuff about him, and he's letting himself get upset. And I've told him time and time again, you go to school, you ignore. Your only focus at school is learning. If you do what I say do, you will avoid a lot of the problems that you're having at school. I told him, you can't say what you want, because my students used to call me a comeback queen, because when kids try to cut or whatever, I had something to say right back real quick. And so I have to catch myself when I'm telling my godson how to handle things at school, because when he tells me what a kid said about him, I could come up with a comeback like that. But I know I can't have him going to school saying things that he shouldn't be saying and getting himself into additional trouble. So I told him, I said, you don't have to say anything to these kids. Look them in the face and say to yourself, I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Jesus. I said, that's all you have to do. I said, and the devil will have to flee. He will have no choice. I said, because I don't really want you saying it out loud, because some kid might get offended or what have you. But you can say it to yourself. You can look up straight in the eye and say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I do it all the time. I do it all the time with people, you know. But I told him what these kids want from you is a reaction. And so if you give them the reaction, they're going to keep on going. And I said, it's just like when somebody is acting on a stage, they need an audience. Do not allow yourself to be the audience for those people that are portraying their foolishness. So if you ignore them, you have alleviated the problem, because now they've got to go find somebody else that they can act a fool with. He hasn't quite learned that yet, but I'm hoping he will learn that soon. So definitely. You just took your test, Naive? Cool. I mean, I like I said, I have found it to be very enlightening, very informative. And I have really taken the information that I've gained about myself and my personality type, and I've put it into action, and I've put it into practice to help me with how I interact with people. My son 28, and I think he's just oh no, don't tell me I gotta wait that many more years before he figures it out, because I just can't. If we have one more year of him getting in trouble at school, I don't know what we're gonna do. And I've considered homeschooling him, but I'm like, I don't know if I could put up with him for that many hours throughout the day trying to get him to do all of his studies together. I think part of my godson problem is he needs to be in a school for gifted kids. He's very smart, and he's not being able to really deal with that where he's at. I don't know. But I can't wait. He's 10. I can't wait that many more years for him to get it together. And it affects the crazy thing, it affects his responsibility level and his maturity level. Yes, the males mature slower than the women. I didn't understand that when I was growing up, but now that I'm an adult, definitely get that one. But I want him to figure it out before he gets into middle school, because he's going to start middle school next year. His dad wants to transfer him back to a campus that he was at before, but the kids at that campus are so horrible that I feel like we'll be taking a step backwards. I'm trying to get him to do better, and if we put him there where the kids are worse and he hasn't quite gotten it together yet to learn to ignore them, it's not going to be good. So, and his dad wants to put him back at the other school because, yes, it's closer to their home and everything. I understand that. But what's more important, being closer to home or him being successful with no drama? And I think we'd rather him be successful with no drama. It's hard for the gifted kids. I have two, and they had to have extra work given to them at school since second grade. Yes. So last year, his school told me that they were going to try and like partner him with an older student, because they recognized themselves that he was more mature than the other kids in his grade level, but they never did that. He's so smart that his intelligence is actually being overlooked by his behavior now, because he's constantly getting in trouble, kids teasing and what have you, and he gets bored in class and he starts acting out. And I tell all his teachers from the get, make sure he is constantly working. He has to constantly have something to do in class, or there's going to be problems. Is that an excuse for his behavior? No, it's not. But that is a reason for his behavior. So I try to tell them that all the time. Do they listen to me? I'm considered pretty much one of the parents here. I'm on the paperwork and everything. If I'm telling you this is what the kid needs, please try to do that. Please just try to give him some extra work. I literally had to send him to school with this workbook for a while that I had bought him, so that he could sit there and work in the workbook and do extra work once he's done. Because he'll just sit there and act out. Yeah, Dad should chill. Y'all, that will be a whole nother topic. His daddy could be a whole nother topic on Tuesday Talks. Our boys have a lot ahead. They need every advantage we can give them. Exactly. So I really just thought about, okay, have we just not found the right school for him? Now, for a couple of years, he was in a private Adventist school. when he was in kinder and first grade. He did his best when he was there. He did his best. When he was in first grade, the teacher, because we were thinking he couldn't read well, but he was just pretending to not be able to read the homework so he could hurry and go outside and play. And we had a parent conference, and the teacher was like, "Oh, he's such a great reader," and blah, blah, blah. And me and his dad look at her like, "What are you talking about? We can't get him to read. We don't think he reads very well." She's like, "No, he's reading the fourth and the fifth grade textbooks. He's answering the questions for the fourth and fifth graders when they don't even know the answers." And this was when he was in first grade. So I turned and looked at him. I said, "You little weasel, you've been playing us. We thinking you don't know anything." But it was all because he went to her and get through the homework and go play. But I felt like he did his best at that school. But I was the only one trying to pay for that education because it was my idea and Daddy felt that I should pay for it. I just can't afford to do that anymore. So that's why I had to pull him out. I just couldn't afford. It was like $300 plus a month tuition. So yeah. Can you come to my house and help me set my son straight? Yeah, y'all, can you imagine? We really thought he couldn't. We really thought he couldn't read, but he reads extremely well, and he had us fooled. Yeah, it was a lot. And the funny thing was when I sent him back the second year, because I paid a registration fee the first year, and I thought that was just like a one-time registration fee to get them into the school. No, you had to pay that registration fee every year, and the registration fee I think was like 400 and something, and then it was 300 and something a month. They did not have like lunches or anything there. He had to bring a lunch every day, so that was his daddy's contribution. He would make sure he had a lunch, although I was paying for everything. And there were some people at church at the time that were helping me out with it, so which was very nice of them. But I think for his intelligence level and for his personality type, because he's a lot more mature than the other kids, I think that type of environment would be best for him again, but I just can't afford it. This little weasel will try and pretend that I want to do the workout. That's cool. He's good. Yeah, kids will do that, right? He's 4. There were scholarships. He got like a small scholarship because I was Adventist. And it was an Adventist because I'm Adventist, and it was an Adventist school, which I was shocked they gave him that scholarship because he's not biologically my child. So at first I didn't think they were going to do it. The churches were supposed to be able to provide scholarships too, but because they was feeling some kind of way about me at the time, the church wasn't trying to give really to him. That's a whole nother story. They weren't really trying to give to him, and they tried to throw that, well, he's really not your biological child thing up in the mix. And I was like, okay, y'all can be petty, shady, whatever. No, he's not my biological child, but I've been raising him since he was 6 months old. And then the church was only giving like $75 a month, and I was like, you know what, keep your $75. If we gotta act like this about it, my brothers and sisters, keep your $75. But yeah, that was the only type of scholarship that really was available, and that's why I felt like he just fared better there. And I think it's part of it is his personality. But that's why I really want him to get to the age where he's old enough for me to really have him take this test and really figure out where he's at from there. Yeah. That's a whole nother Tuesday talk. That's a whole nother Tuesday talk, Nalene. Yeah. And let me tell you, I'm just going to give you this real quick story about that. So people could contribute to the children. They could put that in as an offering. and then the church would write the check and send it over to the school, right? So that was an option. And one of the elders at one point had deposited or put in money for him, but they used that money towards another kid right away. And then once the money that was usually allocated to that every month came in, then they went and sent the check over to my godson's school. They didn't think I was going to figure this out. Honey, numbers is my thing. I looked at the financial report. I looked at the dates of the checks and everything in it. I figured it out. They couldn't hide nothing from me. That was one thing they didn't. They didn't like me at the business meetings because I was looking at the numbers and I was figuring out all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of one thing that happened there. But I did have a couple of church members that were really nice and were helping me with that tuition because it was expensive. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I could write a book about things. Like I really can. Hey, Bev. Hey. And I don't know if it's my personality that has caused me to have so many of these different situations and conflicts with people because I'm so outspoken. And when people are not doing right, I'm the wrong person to be in the vicinity because I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to point it out. and I kind of talked about that last week when I talked about how, I had to get to the point at work where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to speak up for everybody anymore. You speak up for yourselves, So that's just kind of how things have been with me for a lot of different situations. Okay, y'all pray for me while we're on the subject. Apartment failed to shovel and I fractured my thumb. Oh no. They put me on antibiotics because of what happened yesterday. Wow. Yes, definitely not leave because we don't want you to have any more injuries or be in any more pain. They hate on us and they can't even win, so they need to they need to stop the madness. Seriously. And I don't always bring stuff up when I realize what people have done. A lot of times I won't say anything. Well, I'm not gonna say a lot of times. I'm learning to not always say anything. Yeah, Naive, you might want to look into that. Because if they're supposed to shovel, then they have to shovel. Definitely. What did you say? Low key, I can't trust people in the church after my last experience. I need to know person. Yeah. But because I am, like I said, the T in the ENTJ is thinking. And that's probably like my number one trait, I would say, out of those things in my personality type is the thinking part. All I do is think about things. That's why I don't rest at night. I don't rest at night. My mind is constantly going. And I'm one of those people, I'm constantly observing, logically thinking about things and putting two and two together. Like I do it all the time. So even though I might realize that someone has done something behind my back or whatever, I'm learning now to not always address it. But what I've noticed in the recent years too, a lot of people, when they realize that I know what they've done, they will try to distance themselves from me before I can distance myself from them. But at the same time, a lot of people will want to go back and hurry up and try to defame your character with lies before you can go tell other people the truth about them, if that makes sense to everybody. So I'm just learning to just be like, you know what? Whatever. And sometimes I just want to sit back and be like, I want you to wonder what I know because I know something. But I'm going to let you sit back and wonder what it is that I know. And it's going to drive you crazy. Because with one person before, I know this person was waiting for me to come confront them. I know they were. And I didn't because I wanted them to sweat. And I was like, I'm going to let you sweat because you know that I know. And you're wondering what my next move is. But I ain't going to even make a move. I'm just going to sit back and watch you sweat. And that's what I did. But I do wish I supposed to. What? Wait, what did I miss? Wait a minute. Oh, I already got a lawyer in the law. Are you an overthinker? Yes, I'm definitely an overthinker. I don't wish death, but I do. I do wish explosive diarrhea. Oh my gosh, Nalene, that is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you why I feel a little sick right now because I tend to visualize a lot of stuff. And so when I read that, I started to visualize it. Talk about what people do you wrong. Yes, I agree. I agree. You know, because one thing, your guilt is going to get you. And if your guilt doesn't get you, that just lets me know that you're kind of some kind of sociopath and you ain't feeling no kind of remorse or guilt about what you've done. But if you've got to run and try to make me look bad with lies because I have the truth about you, so be it. I used to tell my students, and nothing anyone says or does can change what God already knows. So God knows the truth. So you can go lie, you can go scheme, you can go slander, you can go defame, you can go do all of that. But it's not going to change what God already knows. And so I was constantly telling my students that last year for sure, because they saw the drama that myself and a lot of the other teachers had to endure last year. And I told them, I said, don't worry about us. God knows the truth. And my thing is, when I have the truth, I don't have to change my story ever. My story is going to be the same every time. So I don't have to think about it, wonder about it. When you ask me what happened, boom, 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 this is what happened, you know? And I'm one of those people, I remember almost everything. Sometimes I remember what people had on when something went down, like in the situation. Like I can remember so many of the details. So yeah, like in the past 24 hours, my story has changed. Exactly. Yeah. You make sure you handle that situation, Nalene, because that's not good. You just had surgery, and to have another injury on top of that. Is it the same hand? Oh goodness, no. Mm-mm. That's not good. That's not good at all. Because you know what could have happened? All of your incision and everything could have busted back open, or it could have caused more damage than what you've already had. And you're still in the healing process, so that's not good. I tried to go on my right hand. My body wasn't letting me. It did bust back open? Uh-uh. Oh no. That is not cool at all. Not at all. Well, yeah, get that taken care of ASAP and get your hand looked at again too. That is not cool. Have you gone back to get your hand checked by the doctor? I would be calling all the news stations too. For real. When my doctor called me after I got home yesterday, she was like, get back in the office. Yes, definitely. You got to get back in there because this is still very fresh. I think you had surgery, was it last week or like, this is very recent. So you want to get that checked. Definitely. Y'all, I don't know where the time went. I can't believe I've been on here an hour already. I need to go and start filming a cook with me video for y'all. Um, but um, I did this morning and I went back. Good. So what I want you to do, if you're interested, go please take the test. And if you're interested on sharing and being on Tuesday Talks and sharing with me, please message me either on Instagram or email me. I'll add my email in the description box when I'm done. And that way you can come back and share with us. And I want to do that for the month of March. Just sharing what we've learned about ourselves through the Myers-Briggs testing. I'm calling in news stations when this weather story dies down. Okay, let me ask you this before I get off. What was their reaction again to this happening to you? To the apartment. You said it was apartment people, right? So what was their reaction to this happening to you? What did they have to say for themselves? Sherry, I saw you come on. I don't know if I got to say hello, but I did see you come on. I don't know if Nyleave is typing this. What tablet is that? Oh, it is a Microsoft Surface. I love it. Microsoft Surface. I think it's the Pro 4. Yeah. The new property manager owned up to it. The repair guys tried to say it was too much snow. I told him if the gas station across the street can keep up with it, so can you. Amen. Oh, thank you, Sherry. You're too kind. Thank you. And speaking of sending something, I mailed off your gift card today. Gotta go. I'm late for bedtime. Wait. Pro 4? How do you like it? I love it. You know what, Indy? I had a 3, and they were having problems with the 3 where the screen was doing like some kind of jumping thing, and I still had warranty. So back in November, I went and took it in to get looked at. And they were just replacing them. So I actually kind of got an upgrade for free. So that was nice. Yeah, I think it's a Pro. I think it's a Pro 4. Yeah, because I had a 3. I had the original one, then I got a 3, and then they had to replace the 3 with this one. Yeah. Have you had that jumping problem? Because it was like bad. Like the screen would jump so bad. Like, you know how when you have stuff saved on your taskbar at the bottom? These things, because the screen was jumping, it was like a row of this just going up and down up the screen. It was really bad, and it was just like no way of really. I'm surprised it didn't affect my eyesight. It might have, and I just don't even realize it because it was that bad trying to look at the tablet like that. I'm going to get a tablet even if I have a Chromebook. I missed 2 more days of work because of their mistake. Oh no, they got to compensate you for that too. Be glad it doesn't do that. Yeah, it's slow. I even think this one's kind of slow sometimes. I think it was just mainly trying to do videos and stuff, processing the videos on there. So I've just been processing the videos on my phone. But yeah, how does it stand up? It has like a kickstand in the back, and you can adjust it. So it can adjust at different heights like that. I love my Surface Pro. It hasn't the keyboard comes on and off. And then when this is not on, you'll an on-screen keyboard will pop up on there. And then it's magnetic. So it just clicks in like that. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Can you do your math problems on them? You know, I haven't tried it yet. There's a way to do it on the OneNote, my brother was telling me. I really only use my tablet for everything that I could actually utilize it for, which is sad. But there's so much more that I could be doing on here. But yeah, on the OneNote, you're supposed to be able to go in there and put the problem and it kind of solves it or whatever. And yeah, I need to test that out and see how that goes. But this thing goes everywhere with me. I love it. I love it. I don't leave the house without it unless somebody's at the house. That's just how much. And I have to carry a purse that is large enough to hold my tablet. Because otherwise, I don't want the purse if it's not going to hold my tablet. So that was hard, like when I went out of town and stuff, because I try to take smaller bags with me when I go out of town. Unless I'm like carrying like a tote bag or something. Yeah. But I love it. I love it. They have a smaller one. It's called, have you seen that one? It's called the Surface Go. Surface Go. My older brother has that one. It's kind of tiny. But yeah. At Chrissy's Plans, you missed my joke. Wait. Who made a joke and I missed it? All right, but I need to get off here so I can film this video for y'all. I'm like I said, I got another recipe video to do. Y'all are too hilarious. Message me or email me if you're interested in taking the test and sharing that information with us on one of the episodes during March. And Christy, I would love for you and your husband to do the test together. I think that would be awesome for you guys to both see what each other's personality type is and how that affects your marriage and, you know, raising the kids and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to do that and you want to share, definitely let me know. And then I will check you guys out on my next video. I have a haul video going up tomorrow. I'm real late putting that up, but make sure you check that out. And I did my first mini plan with me this week, if y'all haven't caught that. So give me some feedback on that, because I don't know how well I'm doing in that mini. Let me pull the kickstand out now. So you have one of these, iridescent? You have a Surface tablet? Thought we were doing no spin. I gotta rewatch the mini. And you didn't know it had the kickstand? Like, what were you doing with it? Wait a minute, I'm confused. So you have one, but you didn't know it. Like, how are you holding it? Just like this? Oh, goodness. Yeah. Oh, God. Iridescent, we have to meet and hang out. I tell you. It was a gift. That was nice. It shows up in the air. Yes. And I don't know which model you have, but I think this model, the kickstand, has more capability than it had in the first one that I had. But iridescent, how long have you had this thing and you didn't know that? Oh my goodness. That is too funny. Oh, so you've only had it 3 weeks. Okay, so we understand then. This thing is cool. Do you know that you have an SD card slot? Like behind the kickstand in the back, there's a slot for you to put an SD card there, so you have more storage. She probably thought the person who gifted it to her gifted her a bump for the base model. okay. She just said she just got it. And if she didn't know that there was a kickstand, then she probably doesn't know that there's a SD slot behind the kickstand if she didn't know it moved. But yeah, you're gonna love your Surface Iridescent. You're gonna love it. Ask Indy. You're gonna love it because I love mine. Y'all mean and I don't care. We're not mean. We love you, girl. We're not mean. Hey, if you have any questions about it, you know you can come to either one of us, me or Indy, because we both have them. And my younger brother is like the Microsoft genius. I told him he should work for them. So if you have any questions about it, just let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, and I will see you guys on my next video. So let me know if you want to go ahead and be part of this little Myers-Briggs March Mania thing. And I will see you guys next time. Y'all behave and y'all be good. And Iridescent, you go explore your tablet and find out all the good stuff about it. All right, bye-bye, guys.